So today, we're going to jump into a biblical idea that might just completely change how you see your walk to class tomorrow. Seriously, it's a concept that can turn what feels like just a busy college campus into this incredible field of opportunity.
Our key verse today comes from Matthew, chapter 9, verse 37. Jesus turns to his disciples and says, "The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few." Right there, he sets up this powerful tension, There's this huge abundance of opportunity, a massive spiritual harvest, but a critical shortage of people who are actually ready to get involved. And that's the big idea we're going to unpack today.
So let me just ask you this straight up. When you're walking across campus, maybe heading to the library or meeting up with friends, what do you really see? What catches your eyes at the buildings, the schedule you're running through in your head, or just the same old familiar faces? Just kind of hold that thought for a sec.
Because, in the verse right before our main one, Matthew 9:36, the Bible gives us a totally different way of seeing things. It says that Jesus looked at the crowds and saw them as harassed and helpless, like sheep without a shepherd. Wow. He didn't just see a bunch of people. He saw individuals who were weighed down, anxious, and, lost. He saw a deep spiritual need. And this really frames the two perspectives perfectly, doesn't it? On one side, it's so easy to see your campus as just the background of your own life, right? It's the place for your classes, your friends, your plans. But on the other side, there's the view we're exploring today, seeing it as a harvest field, a place full of people carrying real struggles. And understanding this difference, that brings us to our first huge lesson.
So, lesson 1 is absolutely foundational. Compassion has to come before the commission. In other words, the right motivation, the why behind what we do, it's everything. And when we talk about compassion here, we're not just talking about, a little bit of pity or some fleeting feeling of sympathy. No, for Jesus, this was a deep gut-level force. It was something that actually moved him, that compelled him to do something.
So here's the crucial point. The problem isn't the opportunity. The field is ready, the harvest is plentiful, the needs are absolutely there. The problem that Jesus points out is a labor shortage. There just aren't enough workers willing to step into that field with that deep, moving compassion.
And this matters so much. Why? Because any real ministry has to start with seeing people the way Jesus does. People can tell, They know when they're just a project versus when you genuinely care about them. That compassionate heart is a direct reflection of Jesus himself. Everything he did, healing, teaching, even going to the cross, was fueled by it. Okay, so how do we actually live this out on campus? It's not that complicated. Here are 3 simple steps. First, walk and watch. This week, as you're moving around, just intentionally pay attention to the people around you. Second, let compassion lead. Let your genuine care for people, not some personal agenda, guide your conversations. And third, pray the prayer. Pray the exact prayer Jesus told us to pray. Ask the Lord of the harvest to send out workers, and then be willing to be one of them.
All right, this brings us to our second lesson, which is this incredible paradox. It's about being sent out with immense authority, but at the very same time living in a state of complete dependence on God.
Just look at the authority that was given in this commission. Jesus does not hold back. He tells his followers to go out and do these amazing, miraculous things. Proclaim the kingdom, heal the sick, even raise the dead. This is a huge, world-changing mandate.
But then, here comes the twist. With all this incredible authority, why on earth would Jesus tell them to travel so light? No money, no extra bag, not even an extra pair of sandals. It seems like really poor planning for such an important mission, doesn't it?
But no, it's not poor planning at all. It is 100% intentional. This is how Jesus brilliantly teaches a core principle. He's stripping away their self-sufficiency to teach them total dependence. Dependence on God for their provision, for opening the right doors, and for the results of their ministry. And there's that contrast again. You can try to do ministry out of self-sufficiency, right? Relying on your own strength, your own awesome plans, and your own resources. Or you can minister out of God dependence, trusting that He is the one who provides, He is the one who opens doors, and He is the one who ultimately changes hearts. This commission only works with the second one.
So the big takeaway here is this powerful 3-part instruction. Go boldly, because you carry the authority of Jesus. Go humbly, because you know it's not about you. And go dependent, trusting God for absolutely everything you need.
And here's how to actually put that into practice. First, pray first. Before you act, before you speak, ask the Holy Spirit to lead you. Second, surrender control. Pick one area in your life where you tend to rely on yourself and consciously hand it over to God.
And finally, give freely. Remember the grace you've received. Well, let that fuel how generously you give your time and care to others.
So let's pull all this together. We've seen the need for a heart of compassion, and we've seen the call to go with both authority and dependence. You know, this isn't just a cool story about Jesus' disciples from a long time ago. This is a direct call to the field, for us, right here, right now.
When you boil it all down, the message of this entire passage is both urgent and incredibly simple. The time is now. The harvest is ready. The only thing left is to go.
And so, we're going to end with this one final question for you to think about. I want you to take an honest look at your life, your ministry, your friendships, your conversations. Where are you leaning on your own strength, your own plans, your own resources, instead of leaning into the authority and the provision that Jesus promises? Because that's the question that changes everything.